भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I am very grateful and honored to be amongst all of you today at ISKCON Dallas. I remember in my last visit to the United States, this Sunday Feast class at ISKCON Dallas was my last session. And from here only I went to New Zealand. And this year, this is the first station, first session of my US visit. I just came, a few hours back, I just came from Australia. Radha Kalachandji wanted me to begin with where I stopped, where I paused last year. The devotees here asked me to speak on the importance of counting one's blessings and not dwelling too much on negativity. In this material world, miseries are inevitable. Even Krishna labels this world as dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Dukkhalayam means this world is a place of miseries. Ashashvatam means whatever little happiness is there, that is also temporary in this world. The first point is that this world is meant to give us some troubles. As the creator of this world, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam also says, Nindanastava satkara nyakarartham kalevaram. This kalevaram, this material body in this material world, is meant to experience nindana stava, means criticism and praise. Satkara nyakara means honor and dishonor. So this world is, first point is, this world is miserable. Second point is, this world is filled with so many dualities. Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapa manayoho. Dualities, dvandvas. Sita, Ushna means heat and cold. Sukha dukkha, happiness and distress on the mental plane, heat and cold on the physical plane. Manapamana yoho means honor and dishonor on the ego plane. So we have to experience dualities. Third point, there are threefold material miseries in this world, right? Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika kleshas. Means miseries caused by one's own body and mind, miseries caused by other living entities, and miseries caused by some natural calamities. Three types of miseries. Fourth point, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarshanam. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, birth, death, old age, disease. So these are common in this world. If you are frustrated with them, the pain of birth, which most of us have forgotten, but the pain of disease, we know. The pain of old age, those are little aging, those are slowly getting white hairs on their head, those are slowly having some wrinkles on their face. They will understand, my God, I'm aging. I have to somehow hide my white hair by putting some black paint on it, right? So birth, death is very painful, disease is painful, old age is painful. So four common things in this material world. But the spiritual world, no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Everything is eternal, everything is beautiful. Fifth point, Brahma created this universe with 5 features of ignorance. Sasarjangrendhata mishram athata mishramadikrit mahamoham cha tamaschagnana vrittayah. So Brahma has created 5 features of ignorance in this material world. We can discuss another time. Sixth point, 6 anarthas. The 6 senses are constantly troubling us. Kruchro mahan iha bhavarnavamaplavesham shadvarganakrama sukhena titirishanti tattvam harer bhagavato bhajaniya manghrim krutvodpam vyasanamuttara dustararanam. This sloka comes in the Prithu Maharaj's episode of the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kruchro mahan iha bhavarnavamaplavesham. This material world is like an ocean, and it is very difficult to cross this ocean, and it's infested with so many sharks. The 6 senses are like sharks. The 5 senses plus the mind, the master of the senses, they are like sharks. And also the 6 anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madamatsarya, they are like 6 sharks. The base of all of that is kama, lust. When kama, desire, is not fulfilled, it becomes krodha, anger. But when kama, desire, is fulfilled, it becomes greed, lobha. And when your kama is fulfilled and others' kama is not fulfilled, when your desires are fulfilled and others' desires are not fulfilled, then you will become proud. That is like mada. When your desires are not fulfilled and others' desires are fulfilled, envy. We will become envious. This is called matsarya. And we constantly hope to fulfill our material desires despite getting frustrated in our attempts. That is called moha, illusion. So all the 6 anarthas are connected to this kama, one anartha, the base. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kama yesha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhyena ihavairinam. This kama, this desire, material desire, is the vairi, is the real shatru of all living entities. And this desire will become anger when it is not fulfilled. Then Krishna also says there are 3 gateways to hell. What are the 3 gateways to hell? Trividhum narakasyedam dvaram nashanamatmanah kamah krodhastatha lobhastasmadetattrayam tyajet. There are three gateways to hell. They are kama, krodha and lobha. Desire, when it is fulfilled; greed, when it is not fulfilled; anger. These are the three gateways to hell. Desire, anger and greed. So, why am I beginning the class with so much of negativity? I spoke, I think, 6 points, how this material world is miserable. Right? Let's come into positivity now. Last 5 minutes of discussion itself becomes very austere for us to go through. My God, this world is so miserable. 6 anarthas, 5 kinds of ignorance, 4 kinds of features in this world: birth, death, old age, disease, 3 material miseries. Oh my God, dualities. So, despite being in such a terrible atmosphere in this material world, we are still fortunate in some way. You know what Prahlad Maharaj says when Narasimhadev appeared to save Prahlad Maharaj from Hiranyakashipu, and after Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj went to pacify him with his prayers. Then Prahlad Maharaj said, "Oh Lord, I am not at all fearful. Right? I am not at all fearful of seeing your form. Although my father became fearful, his associates, all the demons became fearful, and now Devatas are also getting fearful. Even Lakshmi Devi is getting fearful, but I am not fearful." 5-year-old child is saying, "Naham bibhemya jitateti bhayanakasya jihvarka netra bhrukuti rabhasogradamshtrat antrasrajah kshatajake shankhukarnan nirhata bhitadgibhad aribhinna khagrat." So he says, "Naham bibhemi ajitate ati bhayanakasya." Your form is ati bhayanaka, extremely fierce, but I am not afraid. Jihvarka netra bhrukuti. Your jihva, your tongue is very fearsome. Netra, your eyes are very fearsome. Bhrukuti rabhasogradam strat. Your frowning eyebrows and your teeth, extremely fearsome. Antrasrajaha. Now Krishna wears a garland made of forest flowers. This is Vanyasraja, garland made of forest flowers. But Narasimhadev wears a garland made of intestines. Whose intestines? Hiranyakashipu's intestines. Right? Antrasrajaha kshatajake shankhukarnan. So you are wearing this garland of intestines and this your bloody mane, shankhukarnan, your wedge-like ears. Oh, this is very, very fearsome. And even the elephants that are balancing the Bhumandala in different directions, they also become very fearful when you roar like a lion. Oh, Narasimhadev. But Naham bibhemi, I am not at all fearful. Why? He says, Prabhupada gives a very beautiful analogy in the purports, Prahlad Maharaj's purports. He says that an elephant, very powerful, strong, mighty elephant, which may be a few tons heavy. If this elephant goes into a river or an ocean, the elephant may be easily swept away by the waves of the river. It may even drown also. But a small fish, very little fish, which is not even 0.01% of the elephant's weight or strength, this small fish can happily swim in this river upstream, against the stream also, against the current also. What's the difference? This small fish has taken shelter of the river, but that huge elephant has not taken shelter of the river. Similarly, although we are very feeble, we are surrounded by so many difficulties, still we can be very happy and secure when we take shelter of Krishna. Sharanagati, right? That will make us very secure and safe. Right? So Prahlad Maharaj says, after speaking, I am not afraid of your form. After that he says, although I am not afraid of your form, my dear Lord, I am afraid of one thing. You know what is that? Maya, correct. I am afraid of this samsara. Although I am not afraid of your fearsome form, I am afraid of this repeated cycle of birth and death. I am already in the material world. To be in the material world itself is is very terrible situation. On top of it, in this material world, if you are associating with materialistic people, demoniac people, it's even more terrible. I am like that. I'm in such a poor condition. So, O Lord, only your shelter will protect me. Therefore, I firmly hold on to your shelter. Right. So, although this material world is difficult in so many ways, if we take shelter of Krishna, we can easily come out of all the difficulties, whether it is threefold miseries, or 5 types of ignorance, or 6 types of anarthas, or 6 senses. They will not be able to affect us when we sincerely take shelter of Krishna. But our taking shelter of Krishna is our endeavor only? No, there is a lot of hope here. The Lord is so merciful that even though the conditioned soul is not inspired or inclined to take his shelter, still the Lord is so merciful that he keeps on descending on this planet in the form of multiple incarnations. In so many divine forms, Rama, Krishna, Narasimha, Vamana, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, all these different divine forms are constantly manifesting in this world just to enact so many wonderful pastimes and attract our attention to Krishna. The Lord is merciful. He is not only incarnating in this world, he is also making his devotees, the sages, record all these pastimes in the books like Srimad Bhagavatam and many other Puranas, so that although the Lord is not physically manifesting those pastimes at this moment, we can still remember those pastimes. We can recollect and discuss on those pastimes by seeing the scriptures. Right? So we can have some scriptural discussion going on. So the Lord also manifests in the form of scriptures. Tamadi devam karuna nidhanam tamala varnam suhitavataram apara samsara samudra setum bhajamahe bhagavata swarupam. Tamadi devam karuna nidhanam. That Lord is karuna nidhanam, is an ocean of compassion. Tamala varnam. He has a beautiful complexion like that of a tamala tree. Suhita avataram. The Lord appears in so many avatars just to cause welfare to all of us. Apara samsara samudra setum. The Lord manifests in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this Bhagavatam is like a great bridge to cross this material ocean. This samsara is like samudra. To cross this samudra, generally you don't have a bridge, but Bhagavatam acts like a bridge to cross this material ocean. Apara samsara samudra setum bhajamahe bhagavata swarupam. So the Lord rescues us, protects us, supports us by manifesting himself as a scripture like Srimad Bhagavatam. He himself descends, and he also sends so many acharyas, so many generations of acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, then Nimbarkacharya, and many other Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself came. So, Srila Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So many great acharyas are there who are trying to explain to us our original position as servants of Krishna. Don't rot in this material existence, right? So somehow or the other, by the grace of acharyas and scriptures and Krishna, we came in contact with a spiritual path, the path of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we should feel fortunate. We should feel that fortune of being in the association of devotees. Now there is one beautiful shloka that Uddhava, Lord Krishna speaks in the Uddhava Gita. He says that Nrideha madhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karna dharam mayanukulena nabhasvateritam. The meaning of this shloka is that this material body, human body especially, is like a boat. This material world is like an ocean, and this human body is like a boat. And who is the captain of the boat? Guru. Guru is the captain of the boat. And the favorable winds that help the boat nicely sail across this ocean are compared to the scriptures. Scriptures are the favorable winds, Guru is the captain, human body is the boat. Whoever has access to these three privileges, a Guru, scriptures in an understandable format, and a human body, they are supposed to utilize these benefits and cross over this material existence. Otherwise, they are like killers of the soul. Krishna goes on to say they are like killers of the soul. Of course, soul cannot be killed, but if the soul is not taking benefit of all these spiritual privileges, it's as good as death of the soul in one sense, right? So we have access to all of them. So instead of complaining and criticizing that I did not get this, I did not get that, this world is like this world is full of miseries, I have financial problems, I have health problems, I have relationship problems, I have many other kinds of troubles in my life. Yes, they continue to exist because we chose to live here. In a salt mine, you will only find salt everywhere. How can you find sugarcane juice dripping from one corner of the salt mine and some jaggery appearing from another corner of the salt mine, or some kadi shakkar in one corner of the salt mine? It is not possible. Wherever you go, you will only find salt in salt mine. Similarly, in this material world, there are so many difficulties, but we are fortunate enough to come in contact with devotees and a spiritual path. Therefore, instead of complaining, let's count the blessings. There is enough scope to have negative mindset in this world because the world is negative. But if only we have the inclination to see things from a positive perspective and try to see the hand of Krishna in all the negative circumstances in life, we can make a great connection with Krishna through the negative circumstances. Oftentimes, the difficulties that we face in this world are opportunities for us to increase our dependence on Krishna. Opportunities for us to realize that this material world is not meant for me. Here, this place is so difficult, so I should not stay here. I should get out of this place. Where? Where to go? Go to the spiritual world. Right? So every single difficulty that we are facing is meant to induce a feeling of detachment in us. Let's take the opportunity of experiencing a difficulty to be detached. Let me be detached from this material world. Of course, as long as we are in this material world, we have the responsibility of maintaining ourselves properly. But apart from responsibility, we should also cultivate some detachment. And every calamity is an opportunity to intensify our remembrance of Krishna, to increase our dependence on Krishna, and to realize that we are not the controllers and be detached, right? So we need to see all the circumstances in life from that perspective, right? We have received so many opportunities, like Radha Kalachandji in this country having Radha Krishna deities and Gauranga deities. There are multiple sets of Radha Krishna deities here. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra deities, Ratha Yatras, celebrating Ratha Yatras, Harinam Sankirtans, and discussing Shrimad Bhagavatam. These are all not ordinary privileges. For those who don't realize that these are privileges, these privileges may even slip away from the hands also. So we need to realize that I have been given this great fortune instead of complaining. Let me just give some examples. There is, in the first canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani offers this prayer. She says, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. She describes Krishna's parentage. Krishnaya Vasudevaya, your father is Vasudeva. Devaki Nandanaya cha, your mother is Devaki. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya, your father is Nanda Maharaj also. And later in another shloka, Gopyadade Tvai Kritagasa Damatavad, in that shloka, she also describes that Yashodamata is Krishna's mother. Like that, she glorifies Krishna's parents. But later she says, my dear Krishna, I am more fortunate than your mother Devaki. How come? Because you never protected Mother Devaki's 6 children. You allowed Kamsa to kill the 6 children of Mother Devaki. But you always protected my 5 children, Pandavas. Isn't it? Right? Mother Kunti's 5 sons are always protected by Krishna. But Mother Devaki's 6 children were not protected by Krishna. See, Kunti Maharani had 100 reasons to complain. Krishna, in my childhood, before my marriage only, somehow I was a bit bewildered or confused, and then I invoked the presence of sun god, and I had a son, Karna, before my marriage. That's a misfortune. And later I got married to Pandu Maharaj, and Pandu Maharaj cannot create children. That's another misfortune. And later I managed to invoke the presence of so many devatas, and we got some 5 sons, and then Pandu Maharaj died. That's another misfortune. And when Pandu Maharaj died, this Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, supported by Dhartarashtra, are constantly trying to kill these 5 Pandavas. That's another misfortune. I'm like a single widowed lady trying to protect these 5 children, unable to do it many times. How much misfortune? So she had hundreds of reasons to complain against Krishna. But you know what she's saying? Krishna, I'm very fortunate. In fact, I'm more fortunate than your mother also. Not that she's proud, but basically she's counting her blessings. Instead of complaining against Krishna, why did you create all these things, all these calamities in my life? She's saying that, Krishna, I'm very, very fortunate, very, very happy that you have been more merciful to protect my 5 children from all kinds of calamities. Although you could not even protect your mother's kids also. She says, Vishan Mahagneha Purushada Darshanad Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichrataha Mridhe Mridhe Neka Maharathastrato Draunyastratascha Harebhi Rakshita. She says, Vishan, Krishna, you protected my son Bhima from the poison. First. Mahagnehe, when this Duryodhan, Dushasan, all of them kept all of us in a house made of flag, and they were trying to burn us alive, you protected us again. Mahagnehe. Third, Purushada Darshanat, when we were wandering in the forests, great demons like Hidimbasura and Bakasura are coming and then disturbing us and trying to kill us, but somehow you managed to empower Bhima to kill them. You protected. Purushada Darshana, they are man-eating demons. Asat Sabhaya, you also protected my daughter-in-law Draupadi from that Asat Sabha, when Duryodhana is trying to disrobe her publicly. Asat Sabhaya. Fifth, Vanavasa Krichrataha. We underwent so many difficulties in Vanavas. Suddenly they are peacefully staying in Vanavas. Suddenly Duryodhana sends Durvasa Muni. Go for meals to Pandava's home. When after Draupadi finishes her meal, then you go. You don't forget to take your 10,000 disciples with you. Right? That's how Duryodhana is sitting in Hastinapur, constantly meditating on how to create difficulties in the lives of Pandavas, although they are living in the forests. Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichrata Mridhe Mridhe Aneka Maharathhastrato. During the Kurukshetra war, so many Maharathis, they are constantly showering their arrows on Arjuna. But Krishna protected Arjuna. And now, Draunyastratascha Harebhirakshitaha. Now Drona's son, Ashwathama, released the Brahmastra to kill this little baby who is still growing within the womb of Mother Uttara. And you protected Krishna. You entered into her womb and protected Parikshit Maharaj. How merciful you are, Krishna. Now all these are difficulties. Somehow they managed to get over these difficulties. Instead of feeling that why so many difficulties came in my life, she was only thinking that somehow Krishna managed to protect us through these difficulties. And there are many other instances where Krishna did not protect also. Right? Now, they went to Vanavas. Kunti Maharani is thanking Krishna. Thank you very much for assisting us, protecting us in so many ways when there were some difficulties during our Vanavas. But she could have asked, why there was Anvas in the first place? Why did you allow Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas to lose the gambling match? Why should they even enter Vanvas? Oh. She is thanking for Krishna's assistance during Vanvas. She is not questioning Krishna, why you created Vanvas. You understood? She is thanking Krishna for protecting them from this fire accident. She is not saying, why did you even keep in that house made of lac? Without your sanction, nothing will happen. Not a blade of grass moves without your sanction. Looks like you only, as Paramatma in the heart of Duryodhan, you must have sanctioned. Right? Yeah, you must have inspired this arrangement where we have to sit in the house made of lac. So instead of complaining, all these great calamities that happen in her life, they are giving her an opportunity to complain to Krishna, but she was not complaining. She was thanking Krishna. Why did you even create that situation where this Dushyasan pulls the hair of my daughter-in-law Draupadi and drags her into the assembly and tries to disrobe her? She's not saying that. She's only saying, thank you very much for appearing in the form of unlimited sari to protect her. You see? Same situation can be seen from multiple perspectives. Oftentimes in this motivational talks, they give this, right? There's a cup. It's half filled with water. Is it half filled or half empty? It's a perspective. They say, right? So similarly, instead of complaining that Krishna has created so many difficulties in my life, she's only thanking that Krishna, during all the difficulties, we had an opportunity to see you, to have your darshan, to get your mercy. She thanked Krishna for protecting Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara. But she is not blaming Krishna. Why did Uttara's husband die? Krishna, are you really the protector? Why are we unnecessarily glorifying you so much? We are praising you so much. You never protected Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu died in the battle. You are there personally present on the planet. Just few days back he died. Why did you not protect him? Are you God or not? We are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day we are chanting. Are you hearing our chanting? We don't hear our chanting. We expect him to hear our chanting. Oftentimes we chant and we don't hear. We check mobile or we do many other things during chanting, but we expect Krishna to very attentively hear all our 16 rounds. And whenever there is a slight difficulty in our life, we say that Krishna is not hearing our prayers. Krishna, you don't hear our prayers. You are very indifferent. You are not so kind. That's the mentality of a typical conditioned soul and a struggling sadhaka, neophyte sadhaka also. When Harshasoka died, Kritajyati, you know Harshasoka, right? That Chitraketu Maharaj's son. When he died, then this boy's mother blamed Krishna. You are acting like an inexperienced boy. How can a small child die during the lifetime of his father? What kind of creative laws are you following? Are there any protocols and policies for your creative management? Or you are just doing anything randomly? Killing anybody anytime? Giving birth to anybody anytime? Giving calamities to people anytime? There should be some logic. There should be some SOP. What is your SOP? So she's blaming Krishna. Whenever there is a difficulty, it's difficult for a person to digest the difficulty. And when you are unable to digest the difficulty, you blame the Supreme Lord. You blame Krishna. That's the typical nature of any conditioned soul. But a devotee has the ability to digest difficulties and to see Krishna's hand behind the difficulties and try to become more and more devoted, dedicated and determined in the difficult situations. This is the disposition of a devotee during difficulties. If one is not mature, they keep blaming Krishna. Why did the difficulty come in the first place? So, Kunti Maharani is not only thanking Krishna for all the calamities, but she is saying that let the calamities come again and again and again and again. Vipadaha santutaha shashvad. Don't hesitate, recite, no problem. This is Kunti Maharani's very profound prayer. You can recite. Vipadaha santutaha shashvad. तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यस्यात् अपुनर्भव दर्शनम् विपदः सन्तुताः शश्वत्. Oh Krishna, let all those calamities come again and again and again. It's not like Rasgulla. It's not like Gulab Jamun. Let this Gulab Jamun be served again and again. Every day let this be there in my in my menu. No, vipadaha, vipatti. Let this difficulty come again and again in my life. Anyone? Can you make a heartfelt prayer like this here? You just made. You just repeated. Right? So vipadaha santutaha shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru. See, please don't misunderstand Mother Kunti. She is not a lover of difficulties. She is not asking, let there be calamities again and again. Not that she gets some kind of adventurous spirit or some kick or some punch. Yes, let there be difficulty. I'll overcome this difficulty. Then I will prove myself the best, very courageous and very brave and very adventurous person. She's not into that mood at all. The second half of the shloka is more important. Vipadaha santutaha shasvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyat apunar bhava darshanam. Because whenever there is a calamity, you are appearing in our lives. We are remembering you. We are praying to you. We are increasing our dependence on you. We are increasing our remembrance of your Lordship. And you are mercifully coming and assisting us in that calamity. So through that, we are getting to see you. So she is a lover of Krishna's darshan, not lover of difficulties. Because difficulty is giving her Krishna's darshan, let the difficulty be there, not an issue. Right? If something brings us closer to Krishna, even if it is a calamity, even if it is a misfortune, let's welcome it. That is her mood. Right? So she is only seeing the blessing in this negative circumstance and not getting overwhelmed by the negativity. All these great personalities whose stories are described in Bhagavatam, whether it is Parikshit Maharaj, who was cursed to die in 7 days for a small mistake, or whether it is that son of maidservant, Narada Muni in his past life, who lost his mother at the age of 5, or it is Uttara Mata, who lost her husband, who was just a teenage boy, or it is Kunti Maharani, who faced hundreds and thousands of difficulties at a young age, at old age also, or it is the Pandavas or Draupadi, whoever it is. Whenever they are facing some negative situations, they are only seeing the blessing in the situation and not the negativity there. And actually speaking, negative circumstances can positively help in our bhakti. It's like too inconceivable. It's actually conceivable. Let me share a simple personal example. Many years back, my health was very, very poor. Maybe a decade back. The condition was really terrible. And there are some local doctors within GEV only, the place where I stay. There are some brahmachari doctors. They saw me, they are giving me medicines, they are keeping me in some sick room, Sevasthan. And one day they said, I think it's beyond our capacity. You are consistently sick. Better visit the hospital. Go to Bhaktivedanta hospital. And I was on like very strict diet, became very weak. So then I was going to Bhaktivedanta hospital. It's like about 2.5 3 hours drive from GEV. On the way, I was desperate. I was prayerful. It happened some 10, 12 years back. On the way to hospital, I was very desperate, very helpless, very anxious, very prayerful. Just remembering Krishna more and more. What is this? What is this happening? Will I be able to continue my service or not? Already I am in reserve levels of energy for a long time. So somehow I managed to reach the hospital. And he said, I think the previous doctor kept so many diet restrictions on you. It's fine. You have to have some restrictions, but it's like too many restrictions. You are not eating properly. You are becoming very weak. So nothing to worry. Take these medicines. He gave a lot of hope. And you should eat properly. Like that, the doctor, devotee doctor, he gave a lot of hope. and removed all the diet restrictions I had. He said, eat properly, and then he said, go back. So that meeting with the devotee doctor gave a lot of strength or encouragement or energy in me, and the desperate feelings that I had while on the way to hospital were not there anymore when I was coming back from the hospital, right? In fact, I don't know, for those who know Mira Road, those who know Mumbai area, hospital is in Mira Road, and in Mira Road there is a temple also. So from hospital I went to temple and took some samosa also there. Ate some samosa and then went back to GEV. On the way back, I was not desperate. I was not very anxious. But when I reached home, reached our ashram, I felt very guilty. The desperate dependence, the feeling of dependence I had on Krishna on the way to hospital was not there when I was coming back to ashram. Why? Because on the way to the hospital, the situation was materially uncomfortable. But when I was coming back from the hospital, the situation was materially comfortable. So materially comfortable situations will make us forget Krishna many times. Not only me, I think many of you also must have experienced it to some degree at least. But when we are in a materially desperate situation, very uncomfortable situation, then we become more dependent on Krishna. Our remembrance of Krishna will become more intense. We become more prayerful. We realize that we are not controllers. We are not the enjoyers. We are not the proprietors. We are not the doers. That realization comes very naturally when there is difficulty in the situation. Whether it is health problem or financial problem or some other problem, when things go beyond your capacity to resolve, you just have to internally reconcile that I am not the controller. In such a desperate mode of dependence, desperate mood, we can depend on Krishna better. That's what happened with Draupadi Mata also. Initially she was trying so hard. She was trying to seek assistance from so many people in that Kuru Sabha. Nobody could rescue her. Different people had different reasons. Some people had the energy to protect her, but because of some obligations they could not protect her. Some people did not have the energy also, power also to protect her. But finally, she just left her hands in the air and said, Govinda, please come and protect me. He Gopalaka, he Kripa Jalanidhe, he Sindhu Kanyapate, he Kamsantaka, he Gajendra Karuna, Parina, he Madhava, he Ramanuja, he Jagatraya Guru, he Pundari Kakshamam, he Gopi Jananatha Palaya Param, Janami Natvam Vina. She is desperately praying to Krishna, Krishna, I don't know anyone else other than you to protect me. Even Mother Uttara also prayed, Pahi Pahi Maha Yogin Deva Deva Jagatpate, Na Anyam Tadabhayam Pashyet Yatra Mrityuh Parasparam. I don't see anyone else other than you who can protect me in this situation. So, difficulties are actually boons in one sense. What is a boon and what is a curse? Curse is to forget Krishna. Boon is to remember Krishna. Whether it is a difficulty or some kind of materially unpleasant circumstance, if it is helping you to remember Krishna better, if it is helping you to realize that you are not the controller and it is inspiring you to depend more on the Supreme Controller Krishna, that calamity, that uncomfortable situation is actually a boon. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die within 7 days. What was his perspective of the situation? He saw this curse as a blessing. Instead of getting overwhelmed with negative feelings, negativity, he saw this curse as a blessing in disguise. Prabhupada writes in the purport, 1st canto, 18th chapter. Beautiful purports. Prabhupada writes that Parikshit Maharaj saw this curse as a cause of indifference towards material attachments. He immediately gave up the kingdom. He came and sat on the bank of Ganga and he requested all the sages, please glorify the pastimes of Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. Gayata Vishnu Gatha, he said. Then, if you read in the 1st canto of Bhagavatam, the story of this 5-year-old child, the son of, not Shringi, the son of this maid servant, Naradaman in his past life. So, he and his mother, this 5-year-old boy and his mother, who was a maid servant, they were serving near Gurukul. And during the monsoon season, some Bhaktivedanta sages came there to spend their time there, to do their spiritual practices there. Then this maid servant somehow got an opportunity to serve this Bhaktivedanta sages. And as a 5-year-old son of that maid servant, he also started serving the Bhaktivedanta sages. What was his service? 5-year-old child, what service can he do? He's just getting some flowers and fruits for them. And when they are discussing about the stories of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, he will sit next to them and he will hear. Whatever he could understand. And when they take prasadam, if something is left out, he will eat that with their permission. So like that, somehow for 4 months, this 5-year-old child associated with Bhaktivedanta sages, and he came to prema level. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, at the age of 5, just within 6 months, he just chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva and got the darshan of the Lord. And his guru Naradaman in his past life, within 4 months, he passed through all the 9 stages of bhakti from Shraddha up to Prema. Right? So after the Bhaktivedanta sages initiated him in bhakti, pure bhakti, and left that place, then some calamity happened in his life. 5-year-old boy. Mother was maid servant. No relatives. Father is also not mentioned. She is the only protector of this child. Suddenly, on an evening, this mother was bitten by a poisonous snake and she died on spot. She died on the spot. Now this 5-year-old child has absolutely no caretaker. There is no one to take care of this child. Only protected mother has just died. Now anyone would see the situation from an external, material, emotional perspective, they will feel overwhelmed. My God, he is such a nice devotee. At the age of 5, he associated with Bhaktivedanta sages and it came to the level of prema. And now suddenly his mother left. What a great calamity in the life of a 5-year-old child. Right? It's very painful. But you know what Prabhupada says in the purport? Please read 1st canto, 6th chapter, purport 8, 9, 10. There, Prabhupada writes, I think 9th purport or 8th purport, he writes, beautiful. This is the way of dragging a sincere soul towards the lotus feet of Krishna. What? Killing mother? It seems like killing mother. The Lord is merciless in taking away the mother of this child. It seems like that. But where did she go after death? As a 5-year-old child, he did so much seva to the Bhaktivedanta sages, and he attained prema stage. As a grown-up woman, how much seva she must have done to the Bhaktivedanta sages? And she died after serving Bhaktivedanta sages for 4 months continuously. So for someone who has served devotees, someone who has done Vaishnava seva for 4 months continuously, after they die, where will they go? Only 2 options. Number 1, they will go back to Godhead. Number 2, if some bhakti is remaining, they will continue their bhakti in the next life in a different situation. Not like a maid servant. But in a different situation, they will continue their bhakti. So thus, on a spiritual plane, Krishna is only benefiting this lady. And what about this little child, 5-year-old child? After this mother's death, this 5-year-old boy just went on traveling through cities and towns and villages and forests and different places, and he started meditating on the Lord, and eventually he became Narada Muni, who became the guru of hundreds of disciples, thousands of disciples who brought them to bhakti. So spiritually the mother is benefited and the child is also benefited. Externally the situation is very negative. So much calamity, so much pain. From a material perspective, it's a very painful situation, but from a spiritual perspective, it's very uplifting to both the mother and child. Although the Lord caused separation, the Lord is always there for his devotees. Same thing with Gajendra also. Gajendra was dependent on his own strength. For 1000 years, Gajendra was struggling to protect himself from this crocodile. But after 1000 years, Gajendra got inspired to offer prayers to the Lord. Then the Lord came and protected Gajendra, right? So that calamity in the life of Gajendra, Gajendra's life is going on very well, very smoothly. He's the king of the forest. He's the king of the forest, and all the other animals are dependent on this animal, Gajendra. And he has so many wives and children and friends and subordinates. All of them love him, respect him, fear him. Any typical conditioned soul or materialistic human being aspires for, everything Gajendra had. Gajendra is happily living his life, identifying himself like an elephant. In such a happy situation, suddenly crocodile comes and catches the feet of Gajendra. Oh. Now you may say, the Lord is not merciful. What mistake did the elephant do? Or what mistake did this so-and-so person do? Did this devotee do? Why this kind of calamity came in this honest person's life? Why bad things happen to good people? So many questions. But actually that calamity, the danger in Gajendra's life was a boon in Gajendra's life. Till now Gajendra was overly identifying himself as an elephant, a controller, a powerful ruler of the forest. But suddenly Gajendra stopped thinking like that. I am not the ruler, I am not the controller. I could not protect myself from this one crocodile only. Just because you are the ruler at one place, just because you have so much power and influence at one place, that does not mean you will have the similar power and influence at all places. Gajendra was powerful on the land, not in the water. When Gajendra entered the water, Gajendra has to surrender to the situation. And nobody could rescue Gajendra also. When every single power in this world fails to protect you, Krishna is there to protect you. All the elephant friends of Gajendra could not protect Gajendra. All his subordinates and wives and children with whom he was playing till now, they could not protect Gajendra. Even the Devatas who are watching this whole show from balcony stages in the stadium, from the clouds, they could not protect Gajendra. They did not protect Gajendra. They could, but they did not. Finally, only the Lord protected. Samsarambhasi sambhrta brahmabhare gambhirata patraya grahena bhigrihita mugragatina kroshantamantarbhayat diptrenadya sudarshanena vibudha klantichhida karina chinta santati ruddha muddhara hare macchittadantishwaram. Samsarambhasi sambhrta brahmabhare. In this samsara, sagara, in this ocean of material existence, which is filled with so many brahmas, so many bewilderments and allurements and temptations and difficulties, I am caught up. Gambhira tapatraya. All the threefold miseries are like waves that are overwhelming us, that are drowning us. But, O Lord, somehow by the grace of acharyas, great devotees, I am inspired to take your shelter. The way you have protected Gajendra from that crocodile, you will definitely protect me from the crocodile of Maya, from the crocodile of my own anarthas. Basically, every difficulty in our lives will give us an opportunity to intensify our dependence on Krishna, to increase our remembrance of Krishna. If only we have a positive and spiritual perspective towards that situation. But if we complain and criticize, it will only create a negative situation in our life. It will only create a negative situation in our life. It will increase the negativity in our minds, and we will become overwhelmed by all kinds of negativity. So we need to protect ourselves from the negative situation by adopting to the positive path of taking shelter of Krishna. If only we can take shelter of Krishna, there is no negativity in life. One cannot have any negativity in the life if only we can count the number of blessings that we have already received. by Krishna's grace, by Prabhupada's grace, by the grace of so many Acharyas and so many Vaishnavas around us, we have so much of positivity. That does not mean we don't deal with negativity. The point is, we have to deal with negativity, no doubt. But we should not miss positivity. We should not miss to see the situation from a more mature perspective. See the hand of Krishna. What is Krishna trying to teach me through this circumstance? What is Krishna trying to give me message through this situation? This is meant for my purification. Maturity is to see misery as mercy of Krishna. How is it a mercy of Krishna? That misery provides us, that negative circumstance provides us an opportunity to cultivate detachment, to realize that we are not the controllers, and to increase our dependence on Krishna. That's how we can come out of negativity. While experiencing negativity, the situation may be negative, our mindset need not be negative. Actually, see, most situations in this world can be negative. But when the mindset is positive and spiritual, then we will not be affected by the negativity. During monsoon season, you cannot stop rain. But you can always take an umbrella or a raincoat. Similarly, in this material world, you cannot stop negativity. But you can always take the umbrella of positivity or spiritual life. And the best way of taking that umbrella on your head is by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In a mood of Sharanagati, humble surrender, if we chant the holy names of Krishna, then we are expressing our dependence on Krishna, and we will come out of that negativity. Negativity will continue to exist, but we will not be overwhelmed by that negativity. We will not be overly affected by that negativity. We will not be discouraged or demotivated or become dysfunctional in that negative circumstance, but we will be empowered with the inner strength to deal with that negativity with maturity. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Let's give His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu a big Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.